Never modern talk coming back with a smack. Beat marathon, I'm a killer on the track. Never modern talk coming back with a smack.
This is working. Okay, good. Things are awry, but we're gonna work through this. Still turning stuff on, and I had an idea. Oh my goodness, just do it. Just do it. Are we unplugged? We are unplugged. My boyfriend keeps unplugging this thing. Oh, technical difficulties. Did you hear? There we go. Okay. Phew. See if we can get this going. Let's reload. All right. Really? Why are you having so many issues? We need to do some preparation for the pocket. But the thing that was tripping me up, which it shouldn't, and I'm embarrassed to admit it, but I've only done it once or twice the right way. And I don't think I've done it. No, I did do it once with a shirring panel in the back. So, really stop playing my video. I don't need to see myself. Phew. So, we have the front. That's all ready to go. We're not going to mess with that right now. What we need to puzzle out is what order to attach or to finish this back shirring panel with the shell side pieces, which are going to go like this. The curved part goes inside. And then we have the side lining pieces with the facing. It's going to be like this. So, there is a way to do this. And in order to figure this out, I have a dress that is exactly constructed the same way. I'm going to get it. Alright, so it's study time. This is one of my favorite dresses. I have many favorites. I'll just come out and say it like that. I have many favorites, but this dress is the one that I turned inside out to visually deconstruct to see how it might have been constructed. Because this has a full lining. This has a partial shirring panel with corset lacing, scallop lacing for the corset lacing. It even has a similar front type here. This is, I think, a detachable, yeah. So if you wanted to spice up your Lolita, you can see the basic silhouette here of how it's, what the shape is. But then it's embellished with, we have just some sheer ribbon going across the waist, the bust line, and the over bust line with some little pearls kind of tucked in here in the center. It's got more of a sweetheart shape on the top, so this is more straight across. But still, you could do the same thing. You can see how the shape here is very similar. You have that band on the top. This has gathering in it. You can still see that it's a similar shape. And then on this one, it has like a little bit of a peak with a sweetheart sort of neckline. But the seam line is here. It's covered up by a piece of decorative ribbon, a little bow here. The waistline is covered with sheer ribbon. And the top as well is just a folded piece of mesh. It's elastic mesh. Very soft elastic mesh, so it's like one band that's folded, and then the raw edges are gathered and are put into the top seam line there. But what I want to find out is how they constructed this dress with a full lining and the shirring panel with the corset lacing. So what order of things do we need to put together to achieve the same result? So one thing that I did is first I turned it inside out. Okay, we're gonna take off these waist ties. Hi, Posef! Yes, it's one of my favorite dresses. It's the Secret Garden dress in black from Baby the Stars Shine Bright. This is one of those dresses that I pull out kind of often so that I can see the insides. It's polyester. It's made in China. I know not all of them are made in China, but this particular run was. And I like to turn this one inside out to study it. So we're working on, this is the back piece now. I am still a little bit mystified on how they inserted an unbroken piece of lace all along the top, because that must have been put on ahead of time, and it's even unbroken here. Oh well, no, not necessarily. It has a seam right here on the side, but not in line with the seam line on the inside. So that must have been just like a break, but the entire piece was put in as one piece. You have the, these are sewn in straps. So they must have put in the straps too before closing it all. We have on the inside, so this is the side that faces the skin. This is the nice inside part that is just floating right underneath the shell. So here, and it's completely perfectly inserted, invisible zipper on both sides. So here too, there's a cavity, but when it comes to this portion and the lining, it's sewn in. So this portion of the lining is sewn in to the shell's seam allowance, but the rest of it is free hanging. So how did they do this? What did they do first? Okay. It almost looks like, so these casings were sewn afterwards because it stops before, it doesn't like fall into the seam line here. It stops before the seam. Casings were sewn after. Yeah, because it kind of flows over on this lining panel as well. The scallop lacing that's used for the corset lacing might have been sewn first onto the shell of the back. Was it sewn over? Was it sewn over? Or was it just pulled aside? Looks like it was sewn over. Yeah. So okay, this tells me too, I'm seeing that they have stitch lines going over the scallop lacing, so that means that the scallop lacing was put in first and then the casings were formed. But how to close it? So if they did that, I think this one's more open so I can pull this out. What about the elastic? How was that inserted into place? Okay, so it was turned inside out, it was sewn. So the elastic was anchored in by sewing it onto the seam allowance of the shell. So not the shell and the lining, just the shell it looks like. And not straight down, just where the elastic comes in and goes out. Then you have this piece too. So this seam line on the waistband makes its own casing. So this was put together first. This is a puzzle. Detective Carol is on the case, yes! Trying to backwards engineer the order of operations for this particular piece of the dress. So I want to do it like they do it in a factory. So, and what I have learned in my experience is that things are not put together so cut and dry and so like in order like you might think they are just instinctively. There are certain ways of getting around like small crevices, you know, like not putting the skirt on right away, not sewing up the side seams right away so that you can still get into what the back or the front for whatever reason. So there's like a different order of operations than one might instinctively think. So, yeah, I'm trying to see here how this might have been done. So we know for sure that the casings were made after. And then what about the skirt of the lining? Because that was put on coming in this way, maybe, and then turned out. Oy vey. I mean, you gotta admit, this is a very well-made dress. So, I feel too like this was actually. No, it's got a stitch line right at the top, and then it was top stitched on top of that. So, yes, Cal, are you making a mess? Get down. Looking at me with those big ol' eyes. So this was also top stitched, probably just to keep it from flipping down when it's being worn. So here I can come in between the shell and the lining. You want to be able to put it together, put the skirt on as well before you put in the elastics. So you have to be able to come in and put all the elastic in all of the casings and set it. And the easiest way to do that before it's closed on the sides is to have it just as the back piece by itself. So before I attach the front to the back, I would work on this piece first, including the skirt probably. And then once this is all put together with the skirt, you put all the elastic in while this is still open on the side. And then you close that off, and then the back piece will have the accordion, the shirring, and then you can put it together with the front piece. And then you close it off in the side with the zipper. This is challenging, but I want to try to do it right. Let's see if we can do this right. I'm going to keep this on inside out and leave it up so that I could refer to it, maybe. Like just occasionally come over here. I do have another chance at this too. If I mess it up, or if I do it maybe not quite so right, I'll still have a chance with the other dress to do it maybe a little differently if it comes to that. Anyway, if you're curious, the book that I'm using is this one. So this was the very first Otome no Sewing book ever released. It's a little bit stained now, my goodness. We used it a lot. Here's the page with the diagram for this pattern. Not using this weirdly shaped, like open. It's open in the back, but we're not using that. I just took the diagram for the top part, made a rectangle skirt, which is basically what that dress is too, the one that's hanging now. We're not doing waist ties because we don't have enough of it, but I did include a scan of this diagram in the class materials for the Discord server, so if you want to look it up and try it yourself, you can do that. I'm going to put this back now. Oh, Cal. What is Mama going to do? Huh? Alright, give me 1 sec. I need to be right back, and I will be right back.
take my advice. You say that you love it and you're okay, but I am better and you're afraid. Have no shame, just let go, follow me to another land. Try to understand, and I just wanna see the colors and rainbows, 'cause we just wanna be in this dream forever. Just in this dream forever.
Alright, I'm back. And there is some pondering that needs to be done. We're pondering now. Pondering. Okay. So. I have my lines marked. This is still open. I had an idea. I'm not sure yet if that's going to work, so I'm going to have to think about this. So one thing that I do want to do is to mark my placement for that, where did that go now? Scallop lacing. No, really. Where did it go now? Like, I swear I should have like some emote where I'm always asking myself, oh, it's right in front of my face. It's right in front of my face. It's right here. What's wrong with me? Okay. So we gotta be careful with the placement. So this is gonna go that way. And we wanna make sure that the edge of this is hiding in the seam. I'm going to try very, very hard not to have any of that braid peeking through. So, first thing I will do is cut some lengths of this. It's going to be about the same. I'm going to make sure, give it a little extra. Okay. Oh, my cat. Oh, cat. Why you do this, cat? Yeah? You gonna be that way? Alright, let's get my metric ruler. This is a coffee project. I need coffee for this so bad. Here's the thing though. Am I actually, sometimes I wonder, did it do the thing? Did it do the thing? It didn't do the thing. I am disappointed. Okay. We have our braid. I'm just gonna mark my seam allowance here. It's 1 centimeter. Marking it with my water soluble. Right there. Now in a factory they do not have time to do this. They have it all set up and they know exactly how to put this together. So what I'm doing is not anything like what they would be doing in a factory. It is, however, closer to what the sample maker would be doing. The sample maker would be taking their time to figure out how best and most efficiently to construct anything that's about to go into production in that factory. And they'll write it all down, and then they'll have a sheet that basically says first this and this, then this operation, and then this operation. And so when it comes to this point, all the operators who are at this point in the production will have an idea of how to do this, and they'll just do this over and over again. But we're not doing that. We're playing sample maker today. So we're taking our time and we're gonna figure this out. So I could either apply this to this side, and then I'll just have to make sure that when we're pulling it through, maybe somehow, because it is going to have to be put together first. Yes, Cal? I have this crazy idea that I'm going to apply the skirt portion, roll it up, and then sew it inside out, and then when I turn it back out, it's just going to be this piece. Before this part is closed, it's going to be rolled up in here, turn it inside out, and then apply the casings. Maybe. Oh, Cal. I can't stop him anymore. He's got a mind of his own. Alright. Well, those sides are marked, so I am going to have to move forward with this stupid project. It's not stupid. It's a wonderful project. And once I figure this out, it'll be easier the second time. That's pretty much how it always works. I'm gonna put that over there. I'm just curious how they managed to put in those. See, these are going to be buttoned, so I don't need to worry about having them in the seam, just on the front. The front side has the seam. These, and it's going to go this way. But maybe for the next one, we might be able to do something like that. For now, it's just going to be a button in the back for the straps. Okay. So, the other thing that I'll probably have to do is the skirt lining is pretty much just one piece. It doesn't have to be messed with. This is going to be afterwards, so we're going to put that aside too. Put that over there. One skirt, well, both skirts really are going to have the pocket on them. And actually, while I'm here, thinking, processing. While I'm here, I'm going to take off this selvage on both the skirts. sides are gonna have the pockets. I think we might be okay with this amount of selvage since it's less than a centimeter. It's gonna be hiding in there. Oh, that's right. We're only doing one pocket because we only have room for one pocket. This is gonna have a zipper on it. So, we need to make sure that we have this evenly marked for the pocket placement. I'll just finish the other side too. Hey Sierra! I'm beat. Mother decided tonight we were decorating my room. Save me, I have you on mute. She is beside me. Oh. Here, I'll type to you. Oh no. I appreciate being here. Even on mute. Alright, so I need to start doing some recording here. So we're gonna do some table shot. Table shot! So, one of these. It's gonna be on this side. Or is it? Yeah, it should be. The joys of pockets! She's making me wash all my flower pots too. Oh no! Oh moms. Whatever shall we do? I'm gonna try to keep this pretty close to the top, so make sure that this is going to be even on both sides. We have this place and we have this place. So between those two notches is where we're going to be placing our pockets. Also, record the damn video. What's wrong with you, Carol? Jesus. Alright, we put our pocket placements. We have this one side and then this other side, I think. Yes. Yes. Other side. Yes. Okay. Good. Very good. Oh gosh, you know, I just thought of something horrible in that if I don't reinforce these guys, they're gonna start falling apart too, just from using a pocket. So, guess what we have to do? Oh, I can unmute now. I've been relieved for dinner duty. Oh man, thanks for being here. I really appreciate that a lot. I think Wednesdays are my slow day anyway. I think. So I'm not gonna be too worried about like how I look or almost basically what I say. So we're just kind of going with it. I just really need to get this darn thing done. And in the meantime, I don't know, I think you just came in, so like just a minute ago, I was trying to look at another official dress that I have, turning it inside out and trying to figure out how it was constructed. I think I have an idea. It's just a theory at this point. But we're gonna give it a shot. Oh, gosh, what the, why? She puts. How is that grounds for, how is this happening? This is stupid. Stupid. But anyway, you said she puts her mind to it. Yeah, you know, I feel like I have one of those kinds of moms. But luckily, she lives far away. Alright, what was I doing? I need to get some of this stuff. We're going to be reinforcing the edges of these pockets. And, oh my god, I'm honestly wondering if I should just interface the whole damn thing. Why do I do this to myself? I'm sure I have enough. I'm pretty sure I have enough of this stuff. I can just cut some out. Yeah, I think this is not the Pro Deluxe. This is like some other stuff that I got that's similar. Maybe. Feels like it. In any case, it feels very nice. So we're going to use this. And we're going to interface the whole darn thing. Because I do not trust this satin. Like, at all. Take no prisoners mode, pretty much. Yeah. My mom is... Oh, my mom is special. She gave me life. But... doesn't mean I have to like half of the things she says. I'm trying to remember where I got this interfacing from now. This is not the same as the Tricot sheer knit from Pellon. I don't remember. I'll figure it out eventually. Not important. Okay, reinforcing this bitch up in here. I still have to cut it out. You see the things I do for art? This is what I do. I cut and I cry. I think we should be mostly okay. This is gonna... oh, it's gonna do the thing. I want it to do the thing. Right, okay. I don't know what's going on with these scissors, but I'm gonna use these different ones. I think I need more coffee for this. I did not sleep well. I needed to sleep longer, but I forced myself to get up at 7:30 in the morning. It is so hard to do that. Especially when you work at home. I get spoiled. Hey, my birthday's coming up next week. I am somewhat looking forward to it because I know it's going to be nice dinner with family, but at the same time, like, I don't want to get older. I'm like, I am seriously 2 years away from being 40 years old, and that just does not sit well with me. I don't feel it. I don't feel like I look it. I'm just like, I don't know what happened, but stuff happened. Something happened. In any case, birthday. Yay. Yay, birthday. My dad was already making fun of me for the gray hair that I'm growing. Thanks, Dad. We're all a family of goofballs, though, so that's pretty much how we show affection to each other, is we tease each other. Thank you! I don't feel it either. I don't think I'll ever act like it. Definitely not. I like toy stores and video games, and I don't think that's ever gonna change. So I don't know what that makes me in the eyes of society, but also ask me if I care. I still wear a unicorn onesie because it's warm and comfortable. You just turned 28. How's that going for you? You're not even 30 yet. Enjoy it while it lasts. I remember I was so excited when I turned 30. I'm like, yeah, that's the age where everything gets better. And it kind of did. But at the same time, it was like, oh, damn it, I'm 30 now. But then nothing actually changes. It's just like, you freak out for all of like 3 weeks. And then you're like, yeah, nope, still the same. Same old stuff. Trim this. I'm hoping to have stuff together by 30, but we shall see. Hoping I'll have released my dress patterns by then. So the thing about 30 is, especially if you're like going into business or even just trying to get a job, before 30, when you're in your 20s, that number 2 in front of your age just kind of makes it harder for you to get hired or be taken seriously. So for some reason, when you get that magic number 3 in front of your number, suddenly everybody's like, oh yeah, this person's got experience. And then you'll notice that whatever jobs you get are slightly better paid, you're respected a little bit more, and it's just this weird psychological thing. I don't know how else to describe it, but I was dubious about it when somebody told me this once. And then when I turned 30, I'm like, huh, it worked. It's true. It's the weirdest thing. Alright, these are now Definitely reinforced. That's a very nice weight. That's a very nice weight for interfacing. God, I love that interfacing. I wonder if that is the same interfacing or not. Because if it's not, and I can find it besides that one shop online that sells it, I want like a big bolt of this. This is reinforced now, and it still moves like satin. That's beautiful. Really nice. Okay. Oh god, I need more coffee. Alright, well, we don't need the iron anymore for now. Let's get this going here. Oy Schmear! Why do I do this? Torture myself. Okay, we got nachos. We have our nachos. We got our nachos. Our nachos are in place. Alright, so I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to pull back one layer this way. There we go. So these, we want the shiny part to be on the inside, so it gives you a little flash. So that's going to be like this when it opens up. So right side to right side, right here. I've not been allowed a single coffee because of Mother. Like never in your life? Or just today? Just today. God, I know. That would be horrible. But you're in the UK, so at least you can have tea, right? Nice English breakfast. Maybe. Earl Grey. I like Earl Grey with milk sometimes. Quite tasty. Fancy a cuppa? God. For goodness sake. Twitch, you are not helping. She broke out the wallpaper stripper. She is gung-ho for sure. I don't like that pin. I don't know why that's in there. I have this weird thing that I've noticed that I do, kind of inadvertently, in that I collect pins from other people whenever I work on different projects. I end up with pins that belong to other people, and they end up in my collection of odd pins. So like I have a whole bunch of lemon heads in here. These are not mine. These are from when I was at the Santa Fe Opera. I got some from my best friend. I got these giant white ones, I think, from one time that I worked on a movie. they're all just like these assorted pins, like little conquests of the things that I used to do or places I used to work. And I'm like, yes, this pin belonged to this person when I worked on this project. It's the weirdest thing. I don't intend to do it. It just kind of happens. Okay. Oh, God help me. Did an announcement ever go into Discord, or am I just crazy? For some reason it didn't. Hang on a sec. Ein Minuten bitte. I'm just gonna pause that recording there. Let's see. I mean, it's going. Might just be Discord right now on this computer. Oh no, now it's saying it. Whatever. Whatever, man. Mindy! Mindy! Well, Sierra is here too, but I think she's kind of like going in between, apparently decorating with her mother and also watching streams, sometimes on mute. So she's here as well. But yes, thank you for coming. I was so lonely. You should have seen me trying to puzzle out this thing earlier. Still trying to puzzle it out, but I think I have this idea. Discord didn't say anything. I know! Super weird, right? I don't know what that's about. Like, I went to check and then it sent the announcement. Super weird. Anyway, but you're here now! You are here now and all is okay. You could have been here before, now I'm sad. No! You didn't miss much. You really didn't. I did use this awesome interfacing that may or may not be the same stuff that I used before, that Pro Deluxe Trico. So I feel like I got some like cheaper alternative that's sort of like it and not like the Pellon stuff, so I was very excited about this interfacing. You know you're a sewer nerd when the sewing nerd when you're excited about interfacing. Okay, we're gonna put that in here. I'm just placing pockets. I had to reinforce these anyway. The pockets, because they're that satin, the devil satin, that frays and it's gonna pull apart on me. So in order to make sure that kind of doesn't happen, I reinforced it with some interfacing, really nice stuff. And now I'm just sewing it on to the skirt. And all the while, still trying to figure out how to put together this thing. It's exciting though, because once I do it and then I can show you, you're never gonna look at it the same way. It's gonna be like super professional. I know I've done it sort of once or twice and it came out really nice. So if I can like really like solidly learn how it's done, then it will forever change my dressmaking game. I can already put on like a really nice zipper with lining, but this has a shirring panel in it. And so now I'm trying to figure out how in the hell to close this all up with a shirring panel and elastic. That is the mystery. Oh, Dragon, he's sleeping. He's sleeping on lace. Yep, and I'm trying to buy some lace, but the shop on Taobao where I already had a list ready to buy is closed. Oh, sad face. Is Taobao your only option? Because, like, you know me, I swear by... Oh my gosh, what just happened? Hello. What just happened? Shampoo, the evil ninja kitty. Shampoo, the evil ninja kitty is now following. Thank you so much for following, friend. Welcome. How are you? Tell me about yourself. Tell me everything. Anyway, what I was saying was, you know me about my supplies. I pretty much swear by AliExpress because I don't have to go through a shopping service for it. That's pretty much the main reason why I go there. And it's actually all the same product. You just, have to learn how to use the right search terms, but all the supplies I get, all the lace is from there. Hello. Taobao has such beautiful lace. Well, but so does Ali. Like I said, they're all the same product. They're all getting it from the same places. Let's see. Keep thinking about that as well. I'm doing okay. I'm glad I tuned in. I heard shirring panels and elastic. Oh, You came at the right time. Right time, right place. Hang on, I think I need more coffee because I was just preparing this skirt. Because this is gonna have one pocket. It's gonna have a side zip, so just one pocket. Can't have two pockets with a side zip. Doesn't quite work that way. But so here we are. So we got our front. Did you see this fabric, by the way? I know you just came in, but this is the fabric that I'm working on, and it is the cutest fabric in the world. It has alicorns are what they are called. A winged unicorn is called an alicorn, and so that's what it's got printed all over this. It's gonna be the cutest little dress. And I'm working with 2 meters, and I'm making an entire jump skirt out of just 2 meters. So I have 2 meters of 2 different prints that we're doing the same style out of. Isn't it? It's super pretty. I do find Ally sometimes a bit more expensive. Well, but if you're paying for the shopping service, how much does it cost after that? Anyway. I don't know, I find like 20 yards for like $15 for certain laces, and I have so much lace. I hoard my lace, I swear to God. I buy AliExpress lace all the time because it's like the best lace you can possibly get. I need more coffee. Hang on. We're gonna go over the shirring panel right now. So while I've got you guys here, I do have you guys here, I'm going to bring this down one more time and I'm going to go over kind of what my theory is. Oh, don't fall apart, please. Oops, that's going the wrong way. Sorry. Sorry, shaky cam. Okay. So, I just did the skirt. I have this dress. It's inside out right now. This is the Secret Garden print of Baby the Star Shine Bright. I effing love this dress. It's one of my favorites to wear for like a Sunday brunch or some Saturday. It's like, it's not too ostentatious that I feel uncomfortable wearing it just anytime, anywhere. And it's polyester, so it's super easy to wash. Yes, this is polyester. It's actually, it makes the colors more vibrant when it's printed on polyester this way. Anyway, the secret is this dress is almost exactly the same style as the one that I'm working on now. I shared the diagram if you wanted to pattern this dress yourself, the one that I'm making. I shared that diagram on the class materials in the Discord. So if you wanted to follow along and draft that pattern, I am going to be posting an edited video with the drafting of the pattern so you can, know how it's drafted with notes, because apparently the numbers are wrong in certain areas, so we fixed that. But anyway, it's the exact same, pretty much the exact same silhouette. It has this is the top, the front bodice. It has a lot of embellishment, but if you look at the basic shape of it, it's got that band on the top, it has a seam line here, and then it has the center panel, 2 side panels on the front, and the same thing for the back as well. So corset lacing, partial shirring, 2 side backs. So, and this is a fully lined piece. The other thing that I am still trying to puzzle out is how they put this complete piece of embellishment lace on the top, the very top seam, and the straps are sewn into both the front and the back. I'm sure there must be some secrets there, probably all in the order of operations and how it's actually constructed, not necessarily in an intuitive order. So with the fully lined back like this, how did they do it? because here, if I open this up, the lining is attached to the waistline of the shell, but only within this portion. It's creating its own casing using the waistband. Then in here, it has a cavity, and in here it has a cavity. So this is where the lining is free falling. So now we have to figure out how this was constructed. Also, I've discovered by looking at it closely that they put in the casings, they stitched in the casings after this was done on the lining and the front. And the elastic is attached only on one side. I think it's only on the shell side. No, maybe not. Maybe it's on the seam allowance. So they attached it on the seam allowance. Okay. That makes more sense. So they put in the elastic and then they sewed it and then they cut it. Because they pull out more than they use and then they cut it at the end. So those are anchored in, and it even has the scallop lacing, same as what I'm using here. So I'm going to be putting this scallop loop lacing on the sides of the shirring, just like this, and somehow close it up in the same sort of fashion. I do have a theory. Because this looks like it was attached to the lining, like the lining skirt was attached to the top lining before it was closed. And then somehow, like, rolled inside out, they put this in here inside out, and then they sewed it to the waistband, pulled it out again before it was closed on the sides, so it's easy to just turn inside out. And then they did the casings, put in the elastic, closed in the elastic, and then that's it. And then what they would do is they would take the lining here. You have this open so you can put in your zipper, and they closed this side. Oh no. Oh, give me a freaking break. I just realized there's no seam line for the side. We're gonna have a seam line, so there. Okay, we are gonna have a seam line because it's 2 panels for the skirt lining. Oh, Jesus Christ! Hi, Lady Kyra. We're figuring things out slowly. How you doing? And Sierra says, I'm not making a jump skirt, but I am making a dress for a friend. However, she is going into surgery, so she asked if I can do shirring instead of lace-up dress, not stress. I think I'm stressing. Oh, that's nice. It's probably constructed in a similar way to a lined waistcoat, I think. I don't know. I don't know about that. I can only think that you do the shirring panel, then you join the sides of the rest of the dress. Yeah, that's what I've done before. I have done that before. And that is not how it came out. So here's the other mystery. With this particular dress, there's no side seam on the lining. Is there even a side seam? I think it's one continuous pattern here. There is one seam. Yeah, so the dress itself is one full piece. Which would make sense because this print is lovely and you don't want to break that up with a seam line. But it also means that this was constructed with one full skirt lining. Okay, we need to stop dithering. We're dithering. It's dithering. We're dithering. Anyway, if you just want to do basic shirring is easy. What is it, Ninja Kitty? If she's still there. It's mostly, this is just a more advanced thing where I am trying to close up a dress that has a full lining. A dress can just have shirring in it in several different ways. Where did I put it? Oh, it's right over here. Right in front of my face. Okay. So here's the back with the lining. You don't have to have a lining for shirring. If you just want to have a dress that has elastic, you could do a couple different things. You can put in a casing by overlaying some bias tape. You can sew the elastic on directly on this line that I actually have marked with ironing. So every section I have notched. I just folded it between those notches and ironed it down to make a crease so that I marked my placement. If I wanted to do this without lining, all I would do is just sew like this much elastic, stretch it out, and then while it's stretched out, I'm pushing it, I'm kind of pulling and pushing it through at the same time, and it just sort of stitches it on. And you would want to do that with the tiniest little zigzag stitch, just to, you know, make sure that it doesn't get too stretched out. Magic, that's the only answer then. Baby uses witchcraft for their stuff. I mean, you're not wrong, kinda. It's magic to those who don't understand it. In any case, the thing that I'm doing is a little bit different. Potatoes obtained! Oh good, congratulations on your potatoes, Sierra. I'm just glad I have coffee, because I don't know how I'm going to get through this without it. In any case, I have done a few different things before when it comes to a full lining with a shirring panel. And I think I've always like undid things, made mistakes, you know how it goes. So I'm feeling like in the case of that dress, it almost looks like the shell was in fact put together first, and then this part was put together here. Wait, it would be this way. It would be this way. And then this way. This way. So imagine that these are then sewn together. This is not yet sewn. And so with the shell done and the lining put together done, then perhaps you might attach the skirt. I might just have to do this and make mistakes to learn it. Yeah, I think I might just have to do that. Ooh, Sierra, are you gonna do some aligot? I really want to have aligot. There's like, it's so French, and it's just, there's not many places that do it, especially in the United States. But man, ever since I learned about aligot, I'm like, oh yes, cheesy mashed potatoes, give them to me. Making pho gras for dinner right now. Oh my god, I love pho. I love food. Going to have to misfrizzle the situation. Oh yes, in this case, make mistakes and learn from them. Oh my god. I don't want to undo this. I just put it together and it looks so pretty. I have a feeling though that if they did put that lace on the very top, this top part right here, it would have had to be constructed completely and then the lining applied. I don't want to do it. I don't want to, but I think I gotta. So that means we're gonna also apply that lace. Okay. Well, folks, guess what? I'm gonna have to get my razor. has discovered that the walls have over 6 layers of wallpaper on them, too. So fun. She has choice words for the previous owners. Well, that is sometimes what people did because they didn't know how to take it down or were lazy. People don't really use wallpaper anymore. I mean, they do, but they don't. You know what I mean? I just did this beautiful thing. Six layers. Yeah, I've heard of this sort of thing. Wallpaper's expensive too. I think that's one reason why it's fallen out of favor. A lot of people do painting and stenciling now. Well, I'm gonna have to iron this too before I continue. Oh. Why do I do this to myself, guys? They also removed an original fireplace? The house is listed, so no idea how they got away with that. We're putting up lining paper and painting it. Oh, nice. So, here's a question for you guys. Do you feel like there are more people these days that are into DIY? Like, it's become more popular to do DIY as opposed to like whatever's fast. I mean, also fast and also cheap, but also DIY. Me personally, I feel like the whole DIY movement has exploded in popularity. The more that people learn how to do things, the more they want to do them, like stenciling, or interesting finishes for painting a room, which I even did. I remember doing that. I had a lot of fun decorating a bedroom that I briefly had with kind of like this Tuscany sort of parchment look to it. It was like this very light yellow, and I did this glaze over it with sort of a burnt orange that was kind of watered down, and I sponged it on all over the walls, and it looked so good. And then I stenciled wisteria all around the top border of the wall. It was really fun. Honestly, I don't know. Yeah, I think so. And yes, more people are looking to acquire skills. I think it's more popular, but not many folks do it correctly. So others always have to fix it after. We are fixing a lot of botched previous owner DIYs here. Yeah, that's also a problem. Like, people think, I got this, and then they do it, and it's like that. I'm sure there's like so many memes out there where it's like this derpy looking final project, and it's like, nailed it! And you see that kind of a lot. Like, so I imagine that a lot of DIYers are like, they got this, they can totally do it, and then you look at them like, they don't got this. But you never learn unless you make mistakes, right? You have to keep going and just try. Unless you're a total fuck up and you just keep going and you keep failing, then there's got to be a point where you just stop. It's kind of empowering to figure out how to do things you thought only professionals could do. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I love doing that. Especially if, like, sometimes I discover that I'm not that great at a thing. But sometimes I discover that, hey, I'm actually pretty okay at this. I like this. And then, yeah, I can see why people get paid, like, $100 an hour to do this thing. At least in my neighborhood. Oh, yeah. Case in point, hammering an iron nail into a flexible heating pipe? A heating pipe? Nailing into mean them, not you. You know what I mean. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. We had rain through our ceiling. Of course you did, because somebody put a nail through a pipe. Well, yeah, that's on another level of stupid. In my case, I have to fix a professional's mistakes. Oy, oy. Complete central heating failure. Oh, jeez. The flooring in my house is tile. They weren't laid evenly, and they didn't seal along the baseboards. Oof. Oh, no. Yeah, that sort of thing I would have to do a lot of research for before I feel comfortable taking on any kind of project that required it. I've seen it done, but I know enough about any kind of project, craft, or whatever, that there are nuances that I probably am not aware of that I would have to be damn sure of before I take it on. Like, I mean, cooking is not really a great example in comparison to construction or interior design or anything like that, remodeling. But I do recall a time where I thought, just cook everything on high, it'll cook faster. But you have to understand that there are nuances to cooking on medium heat, and that things come out better sometimes, depending on what you're doing. So understanding your work and the little bits that go into it is definitely part of the training that you would need. It's not just, look at a thing, yeah, I can do that, totally. But then, like, you get a nail in a heating pipe because you didn't know that that was a heating pipe. That's kind of a problem. They put plaster up with caulking too to the ceiling. Oi, oi, and wallpaper over it, and the wall dowels too. And my ex worked for his company's flooring company, and I helped them retile a bathroom, so I felt comfortable. That's really cool. As a people fucking up example, I lived in a house where the owner liked to do the fixing himself, and he wouldn't turn off the electricity when he was fixing the lights. Oh god. I knew somebody kind of like that. I knew somebody who was like not concerned at all that the switch would be on when they were changing out light bulbs, and I'm like, what? Isn't that like the basic rule? You don't know what's gonna happen. You don't know. Like, why can't you just try to be safe? Just pretend to be safe. Just turn the damn light off and then change the light bulb. What's wrong with you? No, don't mess with electric. No, you definitely not. I've given myself food poisoning so I can understand the cooking thing. He would cuss up a storm every time he got shocked. Well, duh. And I like that you said shocked and not electrocuted. That is a misnomer, I think. Isn't that correct? That electrocution usually involves death. Although I recently read that there might be some debate to that. Anyway, words, English. Now it's time to iron. They messed up the electrical in our houses and wired everything wrong, so my mom can't switch out the switches with motion sense ones like she wants to. Because everything is just totally wacky wired. It's our wacky wiring job. Where does this one go? Nobody knows. Oh, every time. It is! It is a foldable ironing mat, and Minty just got one too, although I think she got a different one she's not that happy with. Is that right, Minty? But this one, I mean, works for me. Oh yeah, because you were using it on your dining room table. I'm just using it on top of this table that has the craft paper that I will eventually change out, I promise. But yeah, it's basically made to keep on your, like, washer or something, and you can put it on your washing machine on top while you're doing your clothes or while you're finishing doing the laundry and your iron. It's pretty nifty. I think I got this for, I want to say $15 on Amazon. Yeah, we just don't touch our electrics. Electricians have breakdowns when they see our breakers. Oh no. And I used then in my desk and same result, but it's cool anyway. You know what? I feel like it's just I have a table that I don't care about so much, because I do notice that there's some moisture that comes down. Like, for instance, this thing is designed to be on top of a washer, and the washer's just like, you know, coated metal. So if there's any moisture going through, it's kind of made to handle moisture and steam and wet, because it's a washing machine and you have wet clothes coming down everywhere sometimes. So it's probably just it's not a feature, it's just like one of the things that this does is it doesn't really trap in the moisture. So when I'm doing it on this table, like I said before, is an old door. It's an old industrial door. It has a slab of soundproof insulation that I got at Lowe's for $12, cuts the size of the door, and then recovered with some craft paper that I just tear off when I'm ready to change it out, which I will do. And then, you know, I notice that there's some crinkling here. Sometimes I'll just iron right on top of my table here, though, because if I needed to get a new slab of the Homosote, I think it's called Homosote, or it's like soundproof insulation. If I needed to get a new one of that, a whole piece of it is $12. And then they cut it for me, and I just bring it back home, put it on top, throw the other one away. No big deal. So this table's like super industrial and like meant to be worked on. Not a dining table, not a desk that you kind of want to keep nice, you know. So that might be part of the problem. It just is what it is, and on my table I don't care. I need one of those. I'd sell more often if I don't have to leave my room for the ironing board. Yeah, that's pretty convenient. What I used to do is I had my ironing board set up before I got this pad, and then nobody could see like what details I was ironing, because sometimes the way I ironed, like in putting in these creases for marking, you wouldn't be able to see that. So having it under the camera, being able to just pull it out and put it back in is super convenient for my setup. And it's also pretty nice that I don't have to set up an ironing board and take up precious room in my small apartment to iron. So, I mean, it has its pros and cons. Just be aware of that. I like it, but I use it on a table that, you know, is a work table. Let's see. Where's the other piece? This piece. My tube turners came today! Yay! Well, have fun with those. I think you're going to enjoy how easy it will be to turn tubes from now on. You don't have to use if you ever used a safety pin, you won't have to do that anymore. Or loop turners, or whatever tool that you used before, you could say goodbye. Okay. Just ironed out those creases. We're gonna try that again. Mine's a dining table. IKEA. Woo! Reminds me, one of my glasses shipped today. Sight soon. Sight soon. Oh, you made it look super easy. What? Wait. Oh, you mean the tube turner? Yeah. Well, actually, it kind of is super easy. You saw how I did it. So you just gotta make sure that the tube itself is not too big or small. If you just have the two sizes, I think you told me. And then, you know, just make sure that the end is closed off. You'll get it real fast. It'll come to you pretty quickly. Okay, so well, I never. We're gonna have to put this on. I'm gonna give it a shot, guys. I'm just gonna try. I'm gonna set that aside first because this time we're doing this. Goes this way. And this goes this way. So we're doing the lining. I'll be able to see 2020 soon. Oh, your glasses shipped. Oh, sight. Now I get it. Sorry, I needed context. Because I was thinking like wine glasses. Wrong glasses. I got it. I'm on it now. Oh, God. I am a big dork. Alright, this is gonna be all slippity slidey on me. It does have a slight curvature to it, but let's do this. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna do some recording now. We're doing our thing. Let's go a little closer. So, okay, you guys, I kind of want to share this with you, and I know that I'm going to get muted for sharing this, but I still want to share this with you. So, I don't know how into, like, pop music or, like, I guess dancey music you guys are. Hang on, I'm assessing here. I'm assessing. I think I'm going to get it. I think it should be fine. So there is this Romanian. Do you guys remember the Numa Numa song? Let me just start that way. Do you guys remember the Numa Numa song? Because I'm about to play an album. And no, it's not the Numa Numa one, but it's close. And I loved this album. This was like my soundtrack of 2007. So, you guys ever have those? Like you had a soundtrack throughout like a certain year of your life, and that's pretty much all you listened to until the next thing came along? I had a lot of those. I had a lot of soundtracks of my life. So like, it's sometimes a sad thing if I'm like listening to old music from my old soundtracks, my old life soundtracks. I'm like remembering what was going on during that time I was listening to it. And then sometimes it's not the best, so I'm like, I don't think I can listen to this anymore. I don't think so. Oh, come on. Numa Numa? You know Numa Numa. Everybody knows Numa Numa. You may not know that you know Numa Numa. I lived by Numa Numa when it came out. Still don't know the words. Kosa says vaguely. Alright, well I'm not gonna play... Well, maybe I should play Numa Numa just so that you guys, like, remember. You know this song. Oh good, that ended. Dude, no, I gotta play this. It's, Dragon Standinte. Let's see, I think I got it. I actually have the track. That's how much I listen to this song. Okay, seriously? It's Ozone. There it is. Dragon Standinte. We're listening to this, guys. This is happening. Yeah? You have the CD? I love it.
Hallo, salut, sunt eu, un haiduc și te rog, iubirea mea.
So the guy that broke off to do his solo career, his name is Dan Balan. And he is hot, for one. Those Romanian guys. I got hit on so much when I went to Romania one time. It's kind of nuts. Of course, I was a lot younger. I mean, I was in my, 20s. Not that much younger, but still. They were unabashedly always flirting with young ladies. And I was no exception. Apparently. But it's funny because I already was aware of Ozone when I went to Romania. And at the time too, Crazy Loop came out. So when I was listening to Crazy Loop a lot. I loved it. And so when I was talking to the Romanians that was working on the film that I got to be on, got to hang out around, I talked about Crazy Loop, and they're like, you know Crazy Loop? And I'm like, yeah, I know Crazy Loop. And they're like, it's Romanian. How do you know it? And I'm like, dude, internet. I mean, it's Europop, so, it is what it is, but I like Europop. It's happy. Okay, new song. So this is Dan Balan as Crazy Loop, and he broke away from Ozone to do this solo album, and I love it. If you want it so bad, It's fun. Why aren't you going? There you
Taking pictures with Howdy. Standing on my body. You know it's a body, and why don't you say so later?
Alright, I still gotta figure this out though. We still have a conundrum ahead of us. And if you don't take it back, you don't wanna take it back, you don't wanna take it back, my love. Don't you wanna know, baby, you don't wanna take it back, don't wanna take it back, 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 back.
They call me crazy.
Gotta be crazy, ooh, gotta get it right. Oh no, gotta try, gotta be lonely, lonely.
They call me crazy.
Can't stop moving. I love the song. You like the song? I like happy and dancey, so it's definitely my thing. I'm hungry. Like, should probably. Oh, that's the end of the song. I don't have a playlist going, which I should. I should though, huh? Come on, VLC. Help me out here. Can I do this? Can I do it this way? I can. Ooh.
Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up. Stop at the store and make me nice, bright and white. Let me see more, more, more. Feel me, touch me, give me some more. Call me, text me, answer the phone. Faster, faster, listen, tell me more, 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 more. And when she tries to stop, she just stops to stop. Love, this time, shut up.
Ooh, the tension on this though. It's at normal, so I don't know.
Shut up, shut up, shut up. Joanna, shut up. Why did you kill me? Shut up.
Move that over. Yes, that should be perfect. So it should just be barely sticking out. I'm concentrating because I'm also like really trying hard to think this through here. So I applied. Yeah, that looks very nice. So I made sure to line it up so that braid was hidden inside that seam. So that's why it's just on the inside of the line that I drew, and that's how it came out after applying this side. We're gonna do the other side now, and then pray, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just trying my best like everybody else. Like immediately goes from 0 to 100 with me. I'm a little bit panicky right now because I'm seriously like, I think this is right. I don't know if it's right. I'm just gonna do it and see if it's right. And if it's not right, I'm gonna fix it. Best I can do. For real, okay. There's a funny 8-bit song on this album. This is not it. Oh no. This is the one that I would always skip over. Hang on. There, this is better. Alright guys, we got the beginnings here. So today's lesson is a lesson in the order of operations and see which one is actually right. So now we need to iron. We got both of these guys now. This is done. Then I'm starting to wonder now, if we did this, that this seam allowance is going to go the same way so that you have it open for the casings. Well, I am recording this, so however I end up doing this, hopefully I'll have the right footage to be able to edit and give you guys the right instruction. Because the stream right now being live It's like, hey, let's just figure this out together and also make a lot of mistakes and see what works. Yeah, so that's gonna have to go this way. Oh, you know, I wonder if that's part of it, if that's why it's top stitched on the inside. Oh, this is that funny 8-bit song. Ah. It's in Japanese. So funny. Let's see. Is it top stitched on the inside? No, it is not. Okay, so it's not top stitched. There is no top stitching here. There is, however, top stitching along the bottom, which I'm like, huh? I think there's top stitching on this part as well. To keep this going this way, but I think, oh shit, that might be done. Is there? Yes, there is. Of course, this fabric too on this dress that I brought out earlier is a lot thinner. It's like a lot thinner than what I'm working on right now. So I have to be able to keep that into account. Don't want to get rid of my creases. Alright, so this is how the back looks once it's all pressed. So now, feel inclined, so we're still saving the front parts here. Hang on a sec. I'm trying to figure out now if I should do this. This is attached here and here alone. Let's see. Here's the skirts. Going to mark the center. We're going to mark the center now. So I bought a bunch of lace from Allie. I found some nice ones, but they don't have colors like the Taobao shop had. Well, that is why I have a dye kit. I dye everything myself. So if I need a certain color, I've got every color, like literally. I think one of each color in my dyes. It's pretty much a problem. Okay. We're doing an attempting thing, but cool. Yeah, I have a lot of lace from there. It's my go-to. Yeah, let me show you real quick. probably get replaced. But I've got Dye More Synthetics in different blues, black, purple. I have the cotton, the naturals, so royal blue, red, teal, aquamarine, dark brown. You get the idea. I got literally every color in here, including dye remover, just in case I fuck it up. But that's how I dye my lace. So depending on what kind of lace I get, if it's polyester or if it's a cotton or even rayon, actually dyes like a natural fiber, so it takes color really well. But things like poly, you need the synthetic dye. Damn, wow. I hope I use all this lace or I'll get sad, but I also don't buy huge quantities, so, oh, I see. Yeah, no, you know me, I get like, if I can get 15 to 20 yards at a time, the more the better. Okay. Oh yeah, this is a good song. Some of them are hit or miss. So, what are we doing now? I'm going to attach the skirts now. I feel like I should do it now. And then we need to do the casings afterward. So for this guy, I'm going to fold it in half and mark the center. Oh look, it even matches with the seams. How cool! I actually got the seams to match when I folded it in half. Show me. Time to make cute table pieces. Add lace to everything. Sorry, I've been listening to stream while I clean out my Google Drive, and I found some very cringy fanfic young me has written. Oh, haven't we all done that at one point or another? Very, very cringy. So cringy. I like buried it. I don't want to like delete it because it's a part of my history. But at the same time, I look at that stuff and I'm like, God, what was I thinking? I was so sad. It was just so sad. But we all go through that phase, I feel. So don't feel like you're alone. It's okay. Oh, yeah, flash drive of shame. I am familiar with this feeling. I really, really am. I'm not even going to tell you what they were about or anything, but just know they were very cringy. Alright, so for this guy, we're going to do some machine basting here. So I'm putting it to the longest stitch length, and we're just going to go for it. And actually, I'm not going to be basting it all the way across. I'm going to my center mark, and then I'm going to reapply the needle. Where is my center mark? Somewhere around here. Yeah, okay. It's wrong side, but alright, whatever. Okay, pulling this out, making sure I have enough tail, because I'm going to pull that. So let's see. It's where I put all my cringy fan art and fanfics. That's fair. I also have some fanfics I wrote. I want to forget about them. Like I said, don't we kind of all have that phase as young, sensitive women trying to discover and find ourselves navigate through this life before adulthood, or somewhere in between teenager and adult. We're drawn to like put our emotions into words somehow in fictional scenarios, or to take out our aggression on characters that we otherwise love. Like, I can't tell you how many times I have hurt characters in fandoms that I love because somehow I get some sort of schadenfreude out of it. Or I used to. Now I feel a lot more sympathy for things. But man, I went through that phase. I went through that phase. Yes, I will keep it, but no one will ever see it again. Once in a while, I go through those dark archives just to see what was up with my brain. And then I'm like, okay, that's enough for the next 10 years. Never gonna look at that again. Till the next time. Luckily, all my fanfic is in my head and no one will ever find it. Wait until they can scan your brain. Like when you're old and gray and you're like in a coma, and like your grandma and you're laying in that hospital bed and they're scanning your brain and they're like, what's that in your grandma's brain? Oh, that's some fan fiction she never wrote. Should we look at it? Maybe. No. That's a terrible thought. Did I just give you nightmare fuel? No. I'm sorry. I love when every month or so Archive of Our Own reminds me I actually posted a cringy, non-proofread story and that people still enjoy it. Oh no. My sister started reading fanfics and I told her I wrote some back in the day and she wanted to read, but never. Actually, it was because of my sister I started writing fanfiction. I started with a dream of a horrible scenario that I had of some of my favorite characters, and I kind of wrote it down in like 2.5 pages. I read it to my sister, who was 4 years younger than me, and she encouraged me to continue on. I will say that if I didn't have fan fiction, I wouldn't have pursued trying creative writing. It was like a gateway drug. So for that I will be grateful. But the things that I wrote will never, ever, ever see the light of day, ever again. I had once posted them online. I'm sure I still have like some things on fanfiction archives or fanfiction.net or whatever that I just keep there because, you know, like you said, it's amazing that some people do find it, do still enjoy it, and it's a part of my history. I am not that person anymore, but I can say that I was there and I have grown from it. I can't talk, I still read fanfics. Oh, that's okay. I did write some plus original 2. It's awful. Maybe one day I'll try rewriting. Oh, I still read fanfic. It's much more interesting than some books, but I don't write it. My English really improved a lot because of fanfiction. That's awesome. I have to be really keenly interested in a particular fandom or storyline, which I haven't been in a long time now. I think the last fanfiction that I read was something to do with Once Upon a Time. And the only reason I was reading it is because it was actually pretty well written. So I'm very, very picky now about what I read if it's fan fiction. So it has to be like on the level of a professional novelist before I even like consider reading it. So I'm very, very particular about my punctuation, grammar, run-on sentences, and those are all things that I learned when I tried writing it myself. I started when I was about 12, 13 years old. And I was very lucky to have gotten the attention of older folks who were amazed that I was so young and trying to write. And they helped to coach me. And so I learned things. They learned me things. So I feel like now I'm actually pretty decent as a writer in certain aspects. I'm not very good at churning things out. But if I want to write prose, I feel like I can do it pretty okay, which is actually what helps me a lot when I'm DMing my Dungeons and Dragons game, because I feel like I can do a good story. I understand like how to carry a plot forward, what makes a character interesting, descriptions, things like that. So fanfiction helped me a lot in that respect. So if I'm reading it, it has to be at a higher level than just like some 14-year-old who doesn't know anything about punctuation and does like a wall of text. I can't do that. I could say I basically am good at English and have some vocab because of it. That's awesome. I actually started reading more. I was very against reading. I didn't want to do it because everybody kept telling me I should read books. And when I was 12, and then when I discovered fan fiction, it was the first time I was personally motivated to sit and read and read and read all day long. It actually got me into a better reading level. So for that, I'm also very grateful. Let's see. I still read them. Nothing wrong with reading. It's the 2 a.m., 3 coffees later writing that scares me. Yeah, I understand. Mood. Yeah, for sure. I hate chat fanfics. I like when it's a well-written story. Okay, so one thing that I ended up doing is I actually wrote stories with partners through chat, but I did not. We made sure I made sure that whoever I was partnered with understood my rules when we were writing. So we would like kind of take control of certain characters, and it was totally. Or sometimes we would share a certain character, but there would be one character that only we would be playing. And when we wrote it, we wrote in paragraphs. We made sure the punctuation was proper. We made sure we had the narrative. So what we would write really is like a few paragraphs each. We would switch off doing paragraphs. And it had to be in a format of a novel. So for that, like that kind of role-playing fan fiction writing is what I really got into and what helped me to quickly write my thoughts down and not dither so much on what should happen and what should be the next thing, because then I was just reacting to the other paragraphs that my partner was writing to me. But we always made sure that the punctuation was appropriate for the situation, that, you know, we ended the sentence with a period inside of a quotation mark and then a new paragraph, and we made sure that our descriptions were short if it was action, and so there were rules. Yeah, with descriptions, we wrote it like a novel. We just like switched off every other paragraph or so. Yeah. It was still a silly thing to do, and I whiled away my hours doing it all the time. But it's because of doing it so often that I got really good at not taking my time in what I should write next. So, because I only had a limited amount of time to write something, and so I would just quickly draft out my response, and if it needed tweaking later, we would go back and tweak it. But other than that, it was like, okay, quick, what's the next thing? So I got better at stream of consciousness. Okay. I could never read the ones by 14-year-olds. Every once in a while, I still go back to my favorite Spuffy fics, because they're as good as or better than some novels I've read. I did some roleplay with my ex. Well, at my ex, as well, which was nice to help me write more in English and stop being afraid of writing in English. Yeah, I can't read the ones that look like a group chat of drunk idiots without other parts. Oh, yeah, no. I had standards. But I've seen those too, and I just immediately skip. Let's see. Spuffy is Spike Buffy's ship name. Oh, thank you. Thank you for clarifying. My sister loved Spike. That much I remember. She got to meet the actor once at the mall that we lived close to. Because we lived in a place where we had a pretty popular mall in California. So it was pretty often that you would see familiar faces from your favorite movies or TV shows there. And Spike was one day one of them for my sister, and she got to hug him. So lucky. Yeah, we were pretty lucky. We grew up in California where it was like lots of Hollywood and actors. We got to visit a screenwriter's beach house a couple times. That was amazing. Everything was white and they had shag carpeting, but it was literally right on the beach. And I got to meet Ricardo Montalban when I was very little. And he told me in Spanish what beautiful eyes I had. And I remember I was just so giggly because I loved Ricardo Montalban. I was one of those weird kids that liked older men, even so young. Apparently when I'm drunk, I cuddle the softest thing I can find and cry over chat pics, so I have nothing to say. No judgment, Shampoo, no judgment. We all have to go through our own things, you know. A little bit. It was a little bit. A little bit of a charmed life. I got to meet quite a few famous people. I feel like I don't get starstruck anymore. In fact, I'm quite the opposite, just because of just so many people that I've met and so many times that I've been proven like, yeah, these are just regular folks making a living. So my boyfriend, the last time we were at this con, there were lots of popular names that even you would recognize. Like one of them was Nikolai Coster-Waldau from Game of Thrones, Jaime. And when I saw that he was going to be there, I'm like, oh, cool, he's coming. And my boyfriend's like, it's Jaime fucking Lannister. And I'm like, yeah, he's coming. And I was just like so nonplussed. It was just like anticlimactic reaction from me. Like, dude, I went golfing with Dennis Hopper, okay, and I was married to a movie star. So at this point, it's not a big deal. And it's really nothing to, like, be all excited about. Well, I don't know if I should be saying this, but if you search for my picture online, you'll see one of those people. Yeah, it's not really worth it. I mean, what they do appreciate, like, people who, if they're not, like, in the middle of dinner or something, like, if you just see them standing around, same as you, at some event or something like that, and you want to go up to them and just tell them, hey, I recognize you and I really appreciate your work. That they understand, that they like. Don't go crazy, don't ask for pictures, don't ask for autographs, just don't do that. They're like, how would you feel if you were asked to take pictures and give autographs all the time, every day? It's, you know, it's not cool, man. They're just trying to live life. But yeah, if you recognize a person and they're just like hanging out, just standing around, and you want to like show appreciation, just tell them, like, hey man, I recognize you as this from this, and I just want to say I really appreciate your work. Thank you very much. And most of the time they're very gracious and grateful to you for that. I'm trying to do this thing. Oh my god, we did it. Oh my god, you guys, we did it. Alright, well, we did a thing. Now it's time to see if I made a huge mistake or not. Oh my god. So I figured if I got to this point, that maybe I would be able to better visualize how this is going to work. Okay, so we have this all gathered nicely, nice and neat. Going the right way. Shit. Going the wrong way. Damn, we're going the wrong way down here. We got caught. It needs to go this way. But in lieu of that, okay. So if I did this, these have to go the same way. This has to be matched up here. Let's see if we can simulate. I'm gonna end the recording for now and go this way so you can see me. See what we're doing. So if we were doing that same decorative top part, this is the time that we would probably put it on there. And then when it's flipped out, it comes up. We are not doing that. Although, if I wanted to, this is the time that I would be able to do that, to prepare it. Okay, so theoretically, if this were sewn at the top and then this flipped inside out, or, okay, so then we would have this going this way. So imagine the skirt attached to this part coming this way. All right, so then if we pulled it inside out, coming out like this. Or we could roll this up like this. And attach it here like this. And then flip it inside out. You see what I'm talking about? So so that might actually work. So even if I had the skirt attached to the shell as well, if I rolled it just like this on the inside so that I would be able to access this seam to sew the very bottom here, and then I would sew another line where this crease is, maybe. So this would be flipped up. It'd be turned inside out with this bit loose, and then the skirts for both the front and the back would be unfurled. So I have a feeling that this is very close. Let's see. Dinner's done. Woo! I even have coffee. Discovered some plaster is coming away on the walls, so now we know why they had so many layers. Oy. I think I have erased anything I believe is embarrassing from my Google Drive. Oh, good. Good for you. That's good. Looks like how you do a yoke. Yeah! Like rolling it up and then turning it inside out. You could do it that way, depending. Sometimes you would do a yoke if you wanted to do like a fell seam, a flat fell seam. You wouldn't necessarily do it that way. You would just have the staggered seam and then turn it and then just press it down, stitch it down. There are many different ways of doing that, though. When you say yoke, do you mean a yoke for a men's shirt, or do you mean a yoke like for a women's shirt, which is like it's a misnomer. It's a bib, but it's actually a yoke. So I think we're closer. Oy, 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 oy. Okay, so I need a break. I'm going a little crazy. I think I just need to step away for a minute, but then I'm gonna be back. So if I don't see you guys in an hour, yeah, a lined yoke like a shirt or blouse. Yeah, kind of like what's hanging up here right now. Oh, well, you can't see, like up there, like that kind of yoke. But yes, essentially. And like I said, there are many different ways of doing that sort of finishing. So yeah, that's I think that's what we're gonna go for, and I even have it nice and evenly put in here. So we are gonna continue on with this when I come back in about 45 to an hour. I really just, it's that time when you're like pondering and pondering over a project and you just need to step away before you lose your mind. It's that time. Now is the time. So I will see you guys back here in about an hour. So if I don't see you, thank you for joining me today, and then maybe we'll see you again later, and if not, hopefully tomorrow. So bye-bye.